Oregon, and we do this every weekend. We show up in Cars and Coffee, whether it's super sunny or cloudy, as you can see, a little overcast today. But what we got planned for today is we're going to be walking the lots, and I'm just going to give you a layout of what the plan is here. So, today at Cars and Coffee, it's Hot Rod Day, which means the lots over here and the lots over here are going to be full of hot rods. And one of the coolest cars I've seen so far, pre walked the lots, is parked right here off to our right. And so we're going to be walking up and looking at this car. And it looks like there's going to be another car rolling up to check this out. But the plan is we'll walk up and down the lots, um, going down the right side first, checking out all the cars, come up the left side, and then there'll be one more range of lots that come through. But we got a car pulling up here, so we're going to let it park and then we'll start walking. So all right. So if you're just joining us, we're at Cars and Coffee Portland, and we are walking the lots. And basically, it's Hot Rod Day, which means the featured cars are all like hot rod inspired cars. And right here is the beginning of the first lot. There's a lot of people checking it out, but we're going to walk up through here, and we're actually going to be looking at the car in the middle once I can get through because it's the coolest car in my opinion. So let's just walk up and check out what's going on. And as we as we walk the lots today, if there's a car that you want to see, go ahead and start like typing in the chat which car you want to look at and what do you think the cars are? If there's a car you see and you know the year, the name, and or like the engine, go ahead and tap it in the chat. So these cars just pulled up and we're gonna walk up once we can get a view of this one. So, all right, let's try to sneak in here and get a better view of the back of this because that's where the real action happens. So I'm gonna walk through. uh, Let's get through here so we can check this out. All right, that that is absolutely crazy. This is like the wildest bug build I have ever seen. And they have a massive Porsche engine just like sticking out the back of this car, which is super wild. The red one, let's I'll swap over to the red one in a second. Let me just get a shot of the interior of this bug and then we'll look at the car in red next to it. But check out the steering. These are absolutely crazy. Like look at the chain drive on the steering. All right, let me back up. All right, let's look at the all right, we're gonna move on now. So let's check out the red car next to it. This is a Chevy Camaro. Let me get back so we can get a better view of the car. So yeah. Anyways, we are at Portland Cars and Coffee. Today's Hot Rod Day, and this is like the first two cars we're checking out. Let's take a peek inside. Let's do a nice little interior shot. All right, and let's go back and see what's under the hood here. So there you go. You have an SS. All right, so now the plan is we're walking down the right side of the cars and we're going to stop and check out anything that people think is cool. So shout out in the chat the car you want to see. Like you can say, like, oh, I want to see that red Mustang. And here we have is a very clean little Mustang, but we're gonna keep moving. And there is a really cool car that I want to spot out at the end of this lot. So we're gonna walk down here, and there is a classic MG that someone has done some really cool work to. So I want to show this one, and it's the one that everyone's like standing around up here right now because it's super unique. So this is the car that I want to spot because this is like the style of car that personally like I like to come to Cars and Coffee to see is these crazy like home built just um really unique cars. Like this is an MG that has a 16 valve Honda engine swapped into it and that they've wide bodied. And I don't know, this is like what I would consider like a modern day version of a hot rod. So this is absolutely crazy. So let's take a shot of the interior, which honestly, like the interior on this car is pretty nice. And then if we swap, the dash situation is pretty minimalistic, let's call it that. And let's go to the back. But this is probably going to be one of my personal favorite cars of the show today, just because it's super unique. Someone has taken a classic car and done like kind of like a modern version of a hot rod. So I love this car. It is super super unique and just something you're not going to see all the time. So, anyways, let's continue down the lots. I'm going to walk back out to the main lot and swap around here. And we're going to be heading up to this car next, which is one of the featured hot rods. So, this is like one of the best parking spots at Portland Cars and Coffee. So, this is where more of the unique cars get parked. But let's step back and see a better shot of this car. And go ahead and like comment in the chat if you know anything about this car. Let's go ahead and go around and check out the engine. So get a zoom in of this. Comment in the chat if you're familiar with the engine setup on this, but this car was built by 99W Speed Shop, apparently. So very cool. Classic. I'm gonna zoom back, get a better shot of this one. And then yeah, we're gonna move on. So we're gonna finish up the right side of the car here. And then what we have here is a classic Corvette that looks like someone has done more of a modern resto, like a resto mod build on this car. So let's check this out. And interesting thing about this is if you look closely, there's like an octopus on the hood, which is pretty wild. But we're going to get in here and take a look at the engine in a second. So let's go around and check this out. They have a 496 V8 in here, which is definitely insane. And then let's take a look at the interior of this car. Those are man, those look almost like Porsche seats. Anyone? I don't know. I don't think those are OEM Corvette seats, but I could be wrong. And let's go back and try to get a better look at this. The paint job on this car is absolutely crazy. And I kind of like how they blacked out the bumpers instead of keeping them chrome, which I think really adds to the look of this car personally. I think chrome if you're going for like a resto mod, Chrome can kind of sometimes like date the car a little bit. But all right, we're gonna move on. And then here we have anyone know what this is, but we're gonna take a close up and look at the body because the body on thing is super crazy. It's actually like raw metal, and then they've put some sort of coating on it to seal it, but I don't know what it is. But it just has like a super unique look to the body of this car, which is absolutely wild. So we're going to go around and check out what's under the hood. But I have a sneaking suspicion by this emblem on the back that they have like a Cobra engine from a Mustang swapped into this car. But let's go ahead and take a peek at the interior first before we figure out what's under the hood. And this is like a pretty clean setup. This is looks like more of a make it take it to the track sometimes, but still able to drive around comfortably on it. So we're going to walk up this side and we're gonna walk up the other side. I'm actually trapped in the back. So give me a second and I'll make it up to the front. But all right, here we go. I'm gonna go this way actually. So let's see what we have hiding under the hood here.
A gallstone thing. Anyway, they're trying to decide if they're ever gonna go after it or not. It's 90. That's what 91. Yeah. Jill spoke.
All right, we're gonna keep moving on.
Yeah, she
And we're going to actually swap across here and we're gonna go start on the left side of the cars and check out what we have here. So we have another SS 350 Chev with the 383 super clean build. All right, so let's swap around here. And then this is a super unique car. So if anyone knows what like a gasser, like the style of drag car that is, like comment in the chat, like what technically makes a car a gasser. Because anyways, the plate on this is a gasser, which I know is a style of build. And so let's go ahead and go to the back of this car, and it is super crazy. Like all right, we're gonna go all the way. So this is like definitely set up for drag racing, which maybe is like the point of a gasser. I'm not sure, but it's got the massive drag tires. These are actually like probably the widest tires that we're gonna see at Cars and Coffee today, with the the wheelie bar. But this thing is super clean, and we'll just kind of take a peek up the left side of this car also, which is super cool. And then let's take a peek at the instrument column here. This is a very, very tight quarters car. And then just a like super clean, built out, carbureted engine. But let's take a step back and let's keep going up the cars here. So today, since it's overcast at Cars and Coffee, like the lot is like half as full as it normally would be on dude, you have to check this out. Dude, check out this dog. Dude, there's okay. When I can get in and look at this Chevy truck, you have to check this out. There's literally a dog just chilling like in the driver's seat of this truck, like it's driving it, which is super funny. So funny. This is the funniest thing. I gotta see this. Look at this dog. He's just sitting there. Absolutely. Yeah, that is so wild. I mean, I gotta walk by this. He, he's loving it. He's loving it. Look at this dog. He just drove himself to Cars and Coffee to hang out with the people, which is so funny. So, anyways, um, that's too funny. I gotta keep walking though. All right, let's keep going. Let's go through the back here, and then we'll pop out the front, and we're going to look at these two featured cars. So here's like another spot where like yeah, the main cars that show up for whatever theme Cars and Coffee has going on get featured. And so today's featured cars are hot rods. So it's like hot rod day at Cars and Coffee Portland. And let's just take a look inside. And that super is super clean. Ford build here. And then something a little more of a modern take on the same style car with a massive, check out this massive engine. So if you know the like the year of these cars or like what engine they swapped in here, go ahead and like talk in the chat, type in the chat what you think this is, what engine setup they probably have, and we'll just keep going though. So we're almost to the end of the first row of cars. So if you see anything that you want me to take a stop at and look at, go ahead and just type in the chat. You can say like, "Yo, check out that blue car" or whatever. So it's also like a lot of people walking around today, which is super cool. But this car has like some really cool classic flames, just like very lightly painted. So let's take a peek through the interior. Got some cloth seats, and let's take a look at the back of this car. And then next to it, we have a classic Chevy Bel Air. And if you are able to identify, stay on the black car. Take one more peek at this black car. And yeah, there's a Cobra behind me. And we can I can spin around and look at that car. We'll check out the Cobra when we come down the next row. So we're gonna finish this row and then I'll go down the row with the Cobra. There's actually several Cobra builds here today that we can swing by. Um, so we'll get to those pretty quickly. But if anyone knows the year of this Bel Air, type it out in the chat. And Bel Airs always get a lot of attention and love at the classic car shows. I think it's probably like the most iconic car of like the early 50s. So, all right, we're gonna walk past this, and then here's probably one of the cleanest hot rods that showed up today, in my opinion. This one, I just love how simple the design is, but it's just been done super well. So let's take a peek at the interior here, and then we'll go to the front end, see what it has under the hood. And this has a LS engine, so it's got a Corvette engine. And let's spin around so we can get a better front angle of this car. I'm gonna back up so I can. There we go. Sorry. So I think this, in my opinion, for like the classic hot rod, is probably the best example. The 55. Okay, that Bel Air. All right, so check this out. We got a Pontiac, which I am, unless anyone wants to closer up, look up this, I'm gonna skip over this to the next car because I think the next car next to it is probably the coolest truck here today. So we have a Ford uh, that's been completely restored, and I just love the murdered out look of this Ford. And let's see what it's got going under here. Pretty interesting, like color combination, which I like blacked out engine with blue accents. That's not something you normally see in hot rod custom builds, but I really enjoy that. So the GTO, do you want to think of this a Firebird? Yeah. So this is a Pontiac Firebird. The blue is tough. I agree. The blue is tough. Let's take a look at the interior of this Ford, and because man, they've done like a nice job on this truck. And then also carrying on the blue accents into the cab, which is cool. And then let's look at the bed, and then I'm gonna try to get a better angle from the back of this truck. So we're going to take a couple steps back here so I can get a better shot. The blue Ford is factory colors for an engine. Oh man, I don't know about that. If that's factory, that'd be wild. So cool. Now we're actually gonna pop through here, take another, get like another angle from the back. All right, cool. We're gonna keep moving on. So now we're gonna go to something that's like a little more rough, but I think the vibe on this is really cool. Um, dude, this, what do you call these? I believe this is a Ford also, but it's like a delivery truck and they have their motorcycle in the back of this, which I think is super cool personally. Just show up with the motorcycle in the back. But let's go around and try to get a front shot of this car. But this is the stuff I personally like. They're really unique, like unique and something you don't see and still very rough with like minimalistic. Yeah, this is a Ford. Um, minimalistic restoration done, obviously, as you can see. But let's take a peek inside the cab. So you have the engine sitting right in the center. So you're gonna get definitely gonna get some road noise in this thing. And then what's up, guy? Let's take a step back and take a look. Yeah, you can't see through the windshield that very well. But anyways, all right, we're gonna continue on. But I personally like these. That thing is just something you don't see every day. And then we're moving over here and we have uh, a 1960s El Camino. And it's got, dude, this guy's got the Hawaiian theme going on like hard with this, which I personally love. Like this, I've seen this cars and coffee before, and I just think it's super cool having such a fun themed car. So let's take a look at this interior. Continues the Hawaiian theme. Dude, he's got the classic gas foot pedal, very period. Like a very interesting. You can't drive this car in the rain, or you're gonna get your cover totally destroyed, which is carpet. So this is a sunny day only car, and then it continues the Hawaiian theme in the back. You got your ukuleles, your dancing girl, and your little 60s radio. And let's take a zoom back, look at this car, which is super wild. All right, so that completes the first row of cars. So what we're gonna do is we're going to swing around and we're gonna walk by this blue cobra back here because someone in the chat wanted to see the cobras. And so we're gonna take a quick look at this and then we're gonna go down the next row of featured cars at Cars and Coffee. And for everyone who's joining us, maybe like later into the day here, what's going on today is Cars and Coffee at Portland has a themed day every week during the summer. And so today's theme is hot rods. And so all the featured cars are going to be basically, hot rods. And so we've walked down the first row of featured cars, and now we're going to spin around and walk down the second. So we saw this row of cars, and then now this is the second featured row. So let's walk down this and see what we can find. And then over here is like more of all the modern cars that show up every weekend. And so we can take a peek through there. I did see a really cool S2000 um, spool build. I don't know if it's an actual genuine spool or if it's like a just a tribute to spool, but we'll take a look at that car. So all right, everyone. So as we go down this row, give a shout out in the chat if you see a car that you want to spend more time on, or if you see a car and you know what it is. So get a little action shot here as this guy pulls away. Nice. All right, back to it. Convertible. So I want to take a look at this Chevy, but I'll let everyone walk by first. And so let's take a closer look at this. Is this a Chevy 2? That's kind of what the body reminds me of. Comment if you know, but this is definitely a really nice engine that they swapped in here. I cannot tell what this engine is from just looking at it, but let's take a step back and take a peek inside. Super clean interior. And let's take a back shot of this car. So comment if you agree. I think this is a Chevy T body, but I'm not sure. Comment in the chat if you know what this is and if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, that's totally cool, but I think I'm right. But we're gonna continue. This is super clean build. This is the first car of the second featured cars today, which is hot rods, and then we have another Chev. All right, we're gonna keep going and keep walking through here. Starting to get a little crowded, but let's take a look at this here. We got a 446 barrel V8. So very cool. We're gonna keep moving. Just got a classic bug. Or I'm gonna jump past the bug and look at this SS. And let's take a look at this interior. This is like just a classic, fully restored SS. Uh, this is a super clean car. Very nice. But let's take a look at this red hot rod next to it. So since it's hot rod day, let's try to focus on some of the really cool custom builds. And so we have a very clean, I believe this is a Ford, and it looks like they've shaved like a lot of the body and rounded out the lines on it, which is super cool. And we have a 502 under the hood. And let's take a look at what they did with the custom interior on this. Oh man, I'm wrong. This is not a Ford. You can roast me in the chat for saying that this is a Chevy. Ooh, yeah. No, my bad. Wow, this is cool though. Check out the quality of the build. They like basically they even upholstered the wheel wells, and then they added like power or like hydraulic assist gate because obviously back in the day they did not have any assistance on the truck. And this is cool. They did the bed covers actually made out of steel, which is super cool. So cool.
Like the show at the Easter J
Yeah.
the thing
All
about
right.
it.
So now what we got,
It would
I'm not familiar,
property campground.
but check out these tail lights.
There's a ton of vendors that are
I don't know. I don't think this was probably OEM back in the day, but super cool. Let's take a look up the side. Yeah, I got that truck wrong. I got it really wrong. Go ahead and roast me. So, oh, dude, check out the inside of this. This is wild. Look at you have the clock, your little ashtrays. You have all these push buttons for your high beams, wipers, lights. You got a tack in the middle. That's definitely aftermarket. Let's go to the front, and if you know what this car is, let's get a better shot.
oh no, but
All right, well, this basically tells you all the modifications of this car, but this is something I have not seen before. A 1960s, I don't even know how to say this, Borwarg. I could be totally wrong with that, how I'm saying that, but this is probably a car that you never see. At least I don't. But yeah, I'm not Borg Warg. Does anyone know what a Borg Warg is in the chat? I don't know. But I want to get a better angle of this car.
yeah.
Yeah, everyone around this car is also asking what this is because no one's seen this car. But if you're familiar with it, go ahead and let us know. But all right, we're gonna continue. We're gonna skip past this, and here is the Cobra that someone wanted us to take a peek at. And this guy's about to take off, actually. So maybe if he pulls out, we can hear the car start up. Let's see what he does. He might also just be chilling. He looks really cool in this car, to be honest. I think this car just makes you look like ten times cooler just sitting in it. But gray color, like burnt orange, is kind of one of my favorite aftermarket car colors. Stands out, shines really nice. But all right, we're gonna keep going. So here we go. We have a rat rod, is what I would consider this. But if maybe I don't know, what's the difference between a rat rod and a hot rod? But I think this is pretty sweet. So if we let's take a look at the suspension on this real quick. So that is very interesting. So it's a leaf spring suspension, but then with some sort of like balancer on the top. Like I'm assuming that's like a push pull system to help improve the handling or ride of this car. But let's take a quick look at the engine. You got your steering column, steering rack coming out the front. The nice engine. And then, man, this thing is slammed to the ground. This is absolutely slammed. Dude, good luck going over a speed bump on this. I just want to show you how low this car is sitting, which is basically on the ground. And then let's go around the left side and see what the interior of this car is like. And I love the brown leather seats, which is pretty sweet. And then it's got a bright green and interior. And then I like the armrest. I wonder where they pulled this armrest out of. So let's take a step back. and check out the rear end of this car. And this is pretty wild build because it's got the exhaust just like coming right out of the body. They notched out the body on the back to have the exhaust come out the rear, which is pretty sweet. And let's swing around the back here and check out the back. So very cool. And then I'm going to walk back up to the front and let's take a look at the interior on the driver's side. And so, everyone who's just joining us, this is Cars and Coffee Portland. We show up, um, we try to show up a lot on Saturdays during summer and show all the cool builds that roll up. And today's theme, because they have a different theme for every weekend of Cars and Coffee, is hot rods. And so we're walking down the featured lots, checking out all the hot rods that showed up. And so now we got a cool restored Mustang convertible. It's a 1965 Mustang GT. And this thing is super clean. So really like the black on red look of this Mustang. So, okay, then we got a car that's a little more rough, which I always appreciate. So, dude, all right. So, what do you think this is? This little flap in the back. So, this is a Monte Carlo, which these cars are just absolutely massively long, which I kind of appreciate. I always kind of think of these as people just do really cool stuff with them, like from different car communities. So you have your hot rodders, your dragsters, and then also your like I don't know what you want to call them, but like big wheel, big sound system car people love to modify the Monte Carlos. So look how much room is in this engine bay. So yeah, dude, you got a mass. This is like a relatively big V8, and then look at the gap. There's like enough of a gap. You could almost fit a little four cylinder in this engine bay. So I mean, this would probably be a dream to work on because you have room for miles. So let's pop over here and let's check out this Chevy pickup. And we have a 3100 Chevy built. And I love, dude, this is cool. I love the classic features, these like classic add-ons you could get back in the day. So you have like a nice sun visor for your truck. And let's take a look at the inside. Man, that is compact. And wow, like look at the classic. It's like it looks like a wood paint job. Like the dash on these would have been metal. So this is like I don't know if this is a dipped. They had it dipped or how they painted that to look like wood, but looks pretty cool. And let's take some steps back and get a better shot of the back of this car. All right. And then over here, another Chevy truck. This is just a very clean restoration. Nothing too crazy, but we'll take a look under the hood in a second and we'll see if they did anything crazy under the hood or if they also, wow. I love the fact that this interior is like just period correct and like restored. Like nothing too crazy. But all right, let's keep going back. Let's see if they did anything crazy. I think this is the standard engine. So I think this is just a very clean restored truck. So all right. All right. So we're gonna swing around, do a little action shot of this car driving by. So all right, we're gonna keep walking here. So we saw this Mustang last weekend, so I'm going to skip over this one. And then let's take a look at this Corvette Stingray, which I don't know if you were here last weekend, but if I were to ever have a Corvette, like this is the generation that I personally love. Like I love the huge arched fenders. I think this is like probably one of the best designed Corvettes in my opinion, but um let's take a look at the inside. Super clean. It's got the nice little T-top. So, all right. So basically what we've done so far is we've walked through all the classic cars for the featured cars. So basically, let me give you a rundown. This slot over here is all the featured cars, which today was Hot Rod Day. And then, so now we're going to go over into the side lot, which is more of your modern cars. So these are the cars that show up every weekend that, aren't a part of like the theme. And so this Honda, I talked about this earlier. This Honda right here is like branded with spool all over it. And if you don't know anything about like Honda's, spool is like an aftermarket, like OEM plus um, company, and you can get your car to be like an actual registered spool car if you have like enough parts on it. But I don't know if this is just a like tribute to spool or if this guy's actually gone through the process of having his car verified. But let's go ahead and take a look at it because it is pretty insane. And so we're going to be focusing on the modern cars at this point and see if we can find anything cool in the lot. But they've done some, I mean, dude, this is like a nice engine. Holy cow. So let's take a look at this side exhaust. I mean, personally, I think this is absolutely insane. Like, I love when people do crazy things like having the exhaust come out the side of the car. And then this is something I have not seen on many S2000s at all, but basically it has like instead of it having a hard top that ends like right here, they had it like come all the way back and basically turned like an S2000 into a fastback, which I think this looks pretty wild. So all right, we're gonna keep going down the modern cars, and we're gonna skip over a lot of stuff. Like basically, when I look at the modern cars, I'm looking for like things that are super unique and like super crazy. And so, like, kind of like this car next to it, which like I love when people take out the headlight to try to have like the whole airflow thing. And so he has the gap in the headlight going in, and then he has his air intake right there. So basically, the idea is like airflow is going to get pushed in to where you're pulling in the air. So that's I think that type of stuff's pretty cool. So let's keep going down. Uh skip this. All right. We have a classic bug. He has the back popped open. So let's go around the back and see if there's anything unique back here. All right. I was gonna take a peek back there. Oh yeah. Super clean bug. Absolutely cool. Thank
Pretty
you.
black back there.
Yeah, it looks good. Thank you.
It's all business, no chrome.
I love it. And then the interior on this guy's car is super nice. He's done a really great job on it. So, all right, we're gonna keep going. I'm gonna skip this, and then I have to take a look at this. Oh,
I mean, they're waiting.
sorry. Give me a second. I don't know. Give me like 1 second to figure out why this is swapped over on me. Yeah, give me a second, dude. The camera has just rotated, which is a super bummer. All right. Sorry about that. We are back. So basically, what just happened, just so everyone knows, I have my phone on a gimbal, and it decided was going to flip over and go sideways, which is really annoying. But that's technology for you. You can't always trust it. But the thing I like about this car in particular, it might be hard to see. Um, in like the light, but it's not white. It's like an off gray almost. And if you've like followed the channel and like watched other go lives, like you'll know that like one of my favorite colors on cars is like natural stone gray or like nardo gray. And this isn't nardo gray, but it is a very unique close color to it. I'm gonna take a look at the back here. And anyways, I love that color. So we're gonna keep going though. Um, we've all seen our eights. We're gonna see if we can find anything unique hiding out in the modern lot. And so there, I do see a Mercedes down here. So we're gonna walk down here and check out this Mercedes, and then we'll probably skip over to the next lot over. And I want to ask the group if you know anything about classic German cars and when they have these little like emblems, like this guy's got one of these emblems like in his grill. And I know that those represent like different milestones, like you can be a part of a club or maybe your car's like made it like 500,000 miles or something crazy. But if you know what those are, comment in the chat about it. But let's take a quick look at this engine because it's pretty long. So clearly, I think that's an inline six, but like a very early car engine. All right, we're skipping over this lot. What we're gonna do is we're gonna head over to this far lot, walk down the cars, and see if there's anything unique, which I know there is like two cars that are unique. Um, And so the crazy thing about Cars and Coffee Portland is this event starts like strictly right at 8:30. And so right now we're at 9:30 and basically like people like this lot fills up with a ton of people for an hour and then people just start leaving like pretty quick. So it's like a very like tight 1 hour window for people to look at cars. All right, I'm gonna eyeball down this. Okay, this guy's about to leave, but we have to check this car out. This is one of my favorite cars. I actually want to talk to this guy someday and like do a video of his car. And so it is a wagon that he has engine swapped. And we're gonna like watch this thing pull out because this is the stuff I love, which is just a unique build. So it's a Datsun 510 wagon with a engine swap that is wide bodied. And that was pretty cool to get to see a lead, but that is one of the cool custom builds that you'll see in the modern lot. And this guy's gonna run me over. So we're gonna hop over one more lot. There's nothing else to see over here. So we're gonna go walk down the final lot over here. There is a cool Honda S2000 and a really funny actually we're gonna go by the funny car first. So this car right in front of us has really unique wheels, and I want your opinion on these wheels. So comment below what you think of these wheels. They're actually rare and collectible, which is super, super funny. But check out this car. So it's got like crazy paint, but check out the wheels. All right. They're like pig or teddy bear wheels, which I know like in the tuner car community, people love those. I mean, I think they're fun. Like, I would never personally have these wheels on my on my car, but I mean, you have to appreciate the personality of this car. Like, someone's clearly having fun, which I think I don't know. If if you're gonna have a car, have fun with it. And then, dude, check out what he's done with the the exhaust on this. Like, check out this exhaust. Like this, I feel like this car is just kind of someone with a great personality. Dude, and check out this. So it's got a spoiler, and then it's got a spoiler on the spoiler. So, and let's take a look through the back. This car might be on air. I'm not sure. I'm assuming that's what that is. So this car might be on air, which would be even like more hilarious. But anyways, we're gonna come. Yeah, the spoiler on spoiler. I mean, that's a flex, right? Like, let's take a look at this S2000 here. This guy's put a lot of time and energy into this car, and it's also getting a lot of attention, which is cool. And then we're gonna pop back over to the S2000 in a second. I'm gonna look at this Volkswagen Bug while we wait for some space to roll up. But this is super cool, and I love that someone's got like their skateboard hooked to it on the rack. And let's take a look at the inside. Oh man, this is clean. Love the brown. Like the color combination on this is super nice. And the stance on this car. So we're going to no windshield wipers. That's a bummer. Like I don't think this is not personally not going to be very practical living in Portland. Like you gotta hopefully have a lot of Rain-X on your windshield. So let's take a look at how low this car is, which is absolutely crazy. So all right. The S2000's cleared out a bit, so we're gonna take a look at this. This definitely looks like a track build that they're using or like autocross modified division. And then take a peek on the inside. Yeah, this is like a I like the stripped out interior with the carbon plate, just kind of trying to clean up everything underneath. So let's take a look around this side. And I want to check out the spoiler on the back end of this car. Yeah, super cool. And let's take a zoom back. So, all right, very nice. So, all right, we are going to now head up the rest of the front of this line, see what we can find. Yeah. Oh, sorry. All right, anyone know what this is? Type in the chat if you know what this is. This is a interesting. Has anyone ever seen this right here before? Like it looks like this was probably an original feature back in the day. Some sort of like if you run out of whatever liquid that is, you can use it again. Uh I've never seen a glass bottle mounted in the engine bay of a car. All right, so let's take a look. All right, so we got a shout out that this is a Pontiac GTO. Someone in their turbo diesel going by. All right. So we're gonna keep going and see if there's anything. All right, we do have another cool car up here that we're gonna swing by. I feel like you have to take a look at like a Mini Cooper when you see them, just because they're so ridiculously small in person that it's just kind of unbelievable, like how small these cars really are. So let's and this one's bad has like the wide and fendered wheels. But like let's just compare the length of the this car to the car next to it, which is it's just so crazy how compact these are. So let's take a look at the interior of this. And these even have back seats, you know, so you can take you and your friends can all pile in. But yeah, this is so cool. So fun car. And they have like a little leather gas tap protector. So, all right. And then we have another classic right here. which this is funny. Like these cars are so big back in the day that you have like a step to like climb up here and then another step here. And then what would happen is this is a rumble seat. So like you grab this hatch and you like pull it open, right? And then there is like rear seats in this car right there. So you can like literally walk up the fender and then ride in the back. And then I believe that this right here pops out and it's like a luggage rack. But let's go ahead and take a walk through here and we'll go look at the front of the car, but let's take a look inside the interior first, which is very, very, you know, classic. And let's take a step back. These headlights are absolutely massive. So very cool. So that's the two lots. And there are some cars hiding in the back, in the very back lot. So these are the people that show up late. So we'll go see if there's anything cool in the back lots. And then we will, after we look through these two back lots, that'll be probably the end of this live stream for today. So if you aren't subscribed to the channel and you want to keep seeing Cars and Coffee live in Portland, like subscribe. And if you ever want to see like really cool garage tours or like conversations with people and interviews about their cars, I do have some of those on the channel too. So check that out. And I believe this is an M5, but we're going to keep looking in the back here. I do see something poking out the front, which I think that's a Ferrari, like a newer one. Oh my gosh. Actually, let's go look at this. This is way more unique in my opinion. What is this like three-wheel trek over here? We'll swing back over there in a second, but all right, let's see what this is. All right. Comment in the chat if you have any idea what this is because I'm not gonna lie, I've never seen this. And it has I don't even know what this is. I don't think that's a carburetor. Yeah, it is a carburetor. Look at this little carburetor poking out the top, which is funny. And so this has got to be like a motorcycle powered vehicle, right? It's a Trihawk. It's a Trihawk. So this is pretty unique, which is cool. And I'm assuming that since it's got like a Harley sticker on the back, that it's powered by a Harley engine. But see, let's take one more swing around and look at this. This is why sometimes it's worth going to the back lots because every once in a while you find something you've never seen before, like a Trihawk. So, all right. These cars are all pretty basic over here. Let's just walk through. The next row over does look like we have some cool, unique cars, but we're just gonna pop around the back and then walk down the next row. You got your C8 here, and then we have another one of my favorite colors, another another like light gray car, uh, which I don't know, love that, love the color. All right, let's see. We have an E30, but let's take a look at that Ferrari. So it looks like up here we have a GT3 or a GT4 maybe. I'd have to look at the back to figure it out. And then a Ferrari. If anyone, I'm not a big Ferrari guy and I'm not sure what model this is. So if you know like the model, go ahead and comment below. But this is absolutely the front end of this car is absolutely insane. So let's go ahead and take a walk down the side and then see if we can kind of see like what the interior is like. It's gonna be hard to see through the windows, so we're actually not even gonna try. Here's your intake for the rear engine, and let's take a peek at this rear engine. Which, dude, that engine's way in there. Holy cow! Dude, like, look how deep like, look how deep that engine is in the rear of this car. Alright, there goes that Ford with the motorcycle. That thing is super loud, but yeah, so people are starting to roll out. It's a, like, 9:45, so we're gonna keep looking through here. We do have one more cool car in the back lot, it looks like. So, like I said, everyone, this is Portland Cars and Coffee. Starts at 8:30, and it is like a quick car show. It's a impromptu not impromptu, it's actually scheduled every day, all year, 365 days a year. People show up and park their cars. During the summer, it's super busy, and during the winter, it, like, slows down a bit, and if there's, like, a lot of people are, like, fair weather car people, and so, like, a day like this where it's, like, slightly overcast but not raining, like, people will, not show up as much, but when, there's, like, a big, sunny, hot day here, this whole lot will be absolutely packed with cars, and so whoa, dude, this is cool. I personally think this is cool. A K5 Blazer. It's, like, a little rough, but I think these are awesome. I wanna get a better shot of this. Oh, well, let's see what this is. I think that's a Volvo, but we'll see if we can go stock that in a second, but like I was saying, this car show basically starts at 8:30, and then, like, people stay here for about an hour, and then they roll out, and so, all these cars are leaving, and if you wanna see live streams from Cars and Coffee, like, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. I'm trying to do this every day, every Saturday during the summer when the lots are absolutely full, and so we actually do have one more back lot to check out. So, as you can see way over there, there's still a bunch of classic cars that I didn't get to see. So we're gonna take a walk through there, and then we're going to probably be wrapping it up after we look through this next lot where there's still a lot of people. So just take a minute for us to skedaddle over there and see what we missed. And also, which is cool. Okay, so we got like a nice M3 leaving. All right, we're gonna see what this guy sounds like as he pulls out. We got a Chevy leaving over there. We got an M3 about to pull out. But this is this car, this truck right in front of us. See this? All right, this is actually like super unique and something I highly doubt that we see. We're gonna let this car pull out first, and then we're gonna walk up on this Toyota that's been modified that's parked right in front. So just give it a second here. This guy will pull on through. All right. So the reason I like Cars and Coffee so much is because you see stuff like this. Like, how many people out there have taken, I think this is a Toyota from the 80s. This is like an early Toyota pickup. And someone someone has taken the time to like modify a early Toyota pickup into a convertible. And I mean, this all right, if this is not your style, I understand that, but I you have to appreciate the stuff like this because it's fun. Like this is just someone having so much fun, which is so cool. This a pretty crazy choice for wheels, but like let's take a look at the inside of this car. Like I guarantee that you have never seen a Toyota pickup built like this before. So let's see if we can get a back shot of this. It still has the tailgate with a drop, the old school pop them off and lower the tailgate. So you could still use this as a truck, which is pretty crazy. So, okay, I just got asked 2 questions. I'm gonna give a real recap. This is Cars and Coffee Portland, happens every Saturday. And what it is a car meet that happens every Saturday, 365 days a year. And during the summer is like its peak, obviously, where people like to come out the most. And then what do I drive? I have like 2 cars. My main car that is like my classic car is a 1999 BMW Z3 Coupe. So it's the hardtop, which is like more rare, and I love that car. I got it for a steal back in the day, and I bought it for $8,500, and I enjoy it. But I need to do the brakes on it, which is I've been putting off for a long time. So, all right, we're gonna hop around over here. So let's take a look at these 2 plastics, and let's pop over to this hot rod and check this out real quick. All right, let's take us some time and get a close up of this. If anyone knows what this is, go ahead and comment in the chat. Look at they've definitely like chopped the top on it. Man, dude, I don't think I could sit in this. I'm not very tall. And I don't think I think I'd be bumping my head on this. But I do like the matte black paint job on this car with pinstriping. And so Cars and Coffee, during summertime, they have themed weekends. And so the themed weekend for this weekend is hot rods. And so that's how you get really cool cars like this showing up. And so they change the theme every weekend during the summer. And then they have lots that basically represent the theme of that weekend. So let's pop over and check out this next back lot, see if there's anything interesting over there. And so, like I said, if you're into cars and you want to see the cool cars showing up here in Portland, like subscribe to the channel. I go live every Saturday that I can during the summer to show off the car culture in Portland. So we have a couple S2000s, and then I don't know what this car is next to. It's a BMW, I believe, but I could be wrong. This is interesting to me. That's a definitely an interesting wrap. And then these are huge wheels. Anyways, all right. We're gonna go walk up on one more car, and then we're gonna call it. We're gonna end it on this car up here, which I think personally is the coolest, like hot roddy build that showed up. So if I were like judging all the cool cars that showed up today, I'd say this one's the most unique, which is this bug build that everyone is kind of like hovering around. And so, yeah, you can see people are like just looking at this, inspecting it. And that's because you have to see the back of this car. So, look, hold on. So, these guys are checking out the steering on this car because it's got a chain drive steering, but the cool thing about this car is it has a Porsche engine sitting in the back. Let me get back farther so you can really see like how unique this car is. So, yeah, this car is probably the one getting the most attention and love today at Cars and Coffee because it's so unique. And like how often do you see uh a bug that has had this much work done to it, which is let's get another like straight on the back look, which is those wheels are huge too, which is absolutely crazy. So there goes a guy. So anyways, Everyone, thanks for walking around all the cool cars with me today at Portland Cars and Coffee. If you enjoyed seeing these cars, subscribe to the channel so you can see them next time we go live. And I also do really cool car interviews on my channel, so check those out. All right, everyone, have a great Saturday. See you next time.